Hello everyone. So I'm just gonna briefly try out Blender 4.2. But before that, there seemed to be an issue with the redraw of the redo panel, especially in random starship. And when it comes to the UI change in the redo panel activated by some toggle switches or Boolean switches. So for example, if I create a starship. By the way, this format is going to be in the next update. You can see that the drop sections are no longer the vertical setup is now a horizontal setup for ease of use and access. So let me just use alien shape. And you can see that when I activate the or enable the drop section in the horizontal header, you can see that the UI change and let's just show the and shows the property of that corresponding section. But when I move the viewport, pan it, rotate it, zoom out, like that, for example, and then re-show the redo panel, and then we're going to disable the uh, sections. You can see that this no longer redraw or update. This is still showing the hull section properties and not the plating, the wing settings, and front or back. With this seemed to be an issue with Blender 4.2. Uh, Earlier version does not uh, show this kind of issue, especially with 4.1. So to at least remedy this with your current version that you're using, and for this version in the update, you can go to the preferences in the add-ons. Once you have installed the add-ons using the get extensions section right here, you can install them from disk on the zip using the zip file from the stars. And then when you go to add-ons, you can search for random starship and enable the use confirm or OK redo panel. So this is going to use the OK type redo panel. And when we use the operator and modify one of the properties, you can see that there is no live changes in the viewport. You have to excuse me, you have to confirm using the OK button right here. So let's just get this back to something like 12, or use this preset here and then OK. And then once you've done with that, using the OK redo panel, there's going to be you can open the redo panel right here in the bottom left part of the 3D viewport right here. And then the good thing about this is that it stays docked and doesn't disappear if you um, move the mouse cursor away from the menu. Whereas if you were to use the F9 hotkey to show the redo panel anywhere in the viewport, once the mouse cursor goes out of the menu, you can see that the redo panel disappears. And right here, even if we move the viewport, the redraw issue does not. So, but sometimes it still has a bit of an issue like that. I press wings and then it automatically goes to plating, but at least the properties are now showing correctly when you push the plate section with the uh, when you push the corresponding section. Okay, and you can also use this kind of redo panel for random flow, especially for those who are not used with this kind of uh, method where you modify the properties, and then when you accidentally move the mouse cursor out of the menu boundary, it disappears, but you can bring it back like that. But if you want to stay, if you want to make it static, and that's how you do it for random starship, you can also use it for, you can also do it for random flow right here. It also has the setting, use confirm menu, and changes the behavior from before. When you modify the any of the redo properties, the script activates immediately, and you can see changes in the viewport. But with this kind of redo panel, you have to prep the redo properties and then press OK. Once you do that, let's just use four cuts. Once you do that, uh, you can now open the redo panel using the F9 hotkey in the viewport, and the changes will be live. You can see that the OK button is no longer um, present here. That's because the script has already activated that. Or you can click here to show the menu. Then you can modify the redo properties without this disappearing. It stays docked on this particular area. So if you want this, you can just move around and this doesn't disappear. So that's the only difference, is that you have to press OK at the start just to activate the live changes. And as long as you don't do any other action that has itself a undo or redo property like the move, then this will always be here. Okay, so for example, if I use grab and move this, then that is already an action that has an undo property registered to the undo history. So now the redo panel has been changed to the move properties. Okay, you also can undo that, of course, but you can undo the effect of the redo panel and then just press OK here, and then modify the properties in this area here without the menu disappearing. Okay, so I think the same issue. Okay, so if we go back to the properties and turn this off, random starship, also turn this off. Okay, and then redo the effect of the random panels. So right now, if I use clear face inner, you can see that the merge panel changes to floater mesh. But when I move the viewport, we show the redo panel, and then use clear faces none. It doesn't change back to merge panel. So that's the current issue of Blender 4.2 right now, and I think this is a bug. Yeah. Because the redo panel doesn't redraw. Okay, so yeah, that's enough for that. So if you're encountering that issue with, especially with random starship, because its UI is particularly laden with properties, you can just activate the um, use confirm or OK redo panel to get rid of the issue. Okay, so let's just create. I'm going to create a simple crate just to Test this out. Test the 4.2 version. Okay, out of mirror. So the most of the add-ons are now updated for the extensions feature of Blender 4.2. I guess Blender Market will also use that. So when you buy, for example, if you have random flow, for example, you can just if you have already a random flow installed, and in Blender Market, I think it will automatically. If I update Blender Market, then your random flow version will also automatically update without you going to going to the Blender Market store. Okay, it's not if it's in Gumroad, I think it's not gonna work. It's only in Blender Market. I think they're trying to uh, get that feature enabled. Okay, random panels. I'm also going to in a few days. I'm also going to add more presets for the operators and random flow. Okay, great. Then so the presets will always start at 0, and you have to increase the resolution to basically see the effect of the preset. The preset will not come with a higher value just because to avoid freezes on high resolution face selections. Okay, so just a basic crate. I'm going to use random. Oh, you can see it didn't update. It's supposed to display the seed value. There we go. Or seed property. They're not gonna be in a hurry. I think try to fix that because I'm I think I'm the only one that uses interactive UI changes on the redo panel. So yeah, I think there's we have to wait a bit just to get that fixed. But as I've shown you, you can just use the confirm type redo panel. Let's go for the big shape first, then just detail the or add additional details using the perspective shapes. Okay, Let's add a basic shader using append materials and use our flow metal. Edit the result. Add some vertex color using sharp and connect it here. By the way, in order for this menu to show up, you have to enable Node Wrangler in the add-ons. Just go to extensions, then search for Wrangler. Okay, Wrangler, and then install it, and then go to add-ons, enable it. You can amplify its effect using a color ramp. Okay. And for manual vertex color, you can just use creative flow. So for example, if I want to create a yellow line here using the geometry, you can just go to vertex color and then set, create a yellow or assign a yellow color. And you can see that there is no color because we're using color ramp. So this is a really quick way to conceptualize a design. Set. So there is no OK button here, but we can use this toggle as an OK button to activate the script. So just click on replace. So remember that to activate the redo panel or the script using the redo panel, you have to modify one of the properties. Um, so you can just use any of these properties, Boolean properties like this one here. You can just press this as to serve as an OK button. Okay, like that. Okay, let's add some lighting using the new addition to random cells, which is the use emission toggle and the floater mesh. So use emission to create the lights. Let's just select everything and enable render to see the effect. I'm going to use number and click on use emission and floater mesh, activate floater mesh. So it gets rid, the floater mesh gets rid of the shadows. So you can see here, you can see that the face is being reflected on the surface of the crate. But when we activate this, all its contribution to the shaders has been deactivated. its effects on diffuse, glossiness, reflections, and even the casting of shadows. So it makes it looks like these faces is a part of the mesh underneath. So it can go hand in hand with use emission to create the lighting effect. Okay, so what we need to do is increase the inner margin. This is a new property. And also increase island size. Let's use 10. Okay. And we're going to set the proc size. So this is, I forgot what proc means. Okay, so chance of a new face being created, but there's a correct term for the proc. I forgot about it. 60. We can seed it, random seed it, without affecting the pattern of the islands. To randomize the position of the islands, you need to use the pull seed. And let's reduce the pole size, something like 20. And then pick a view and play around with the redo properties. Okay, this looks good. Proceed. The good thing about this, you can use, there is a procedural shader or group node included in the append materials, but a good thing about this is that versus or compared with a procedural shader is that if you like most of the pattern but don't like some of the lights, where some of the lights have been created, you can just go into edit mode, select the object, go to the edit mode, and delete the faces that you don't like. Where's the, okay, in the real geometry side. So for example, I don't like these faces here. I'm using the L hat key to select all of them. And even modify some of the lights. So this is the advantage over a procedural shader. But you are using, of course, a geometry. And if you want to transfer this over, so you don't want this setup to be transferred over for something like a game engine. So you have to bake it. You can bake this to the mesh that you are um, using. If you're just going to use it for production or like movies or something, then you can easily use this method for the lights. So this is just going to be a background asset. So this is parented to the source object. Then we can, I think we can limit dissolve. No, it's we're using smooth shading and we're using a mixture of sharp and smooth shading, so it's not gonna be really good with limit dissolve. But if we want to use limited dissolve to basically reduce the resolution, then we need to use shade auto smooth and limit dissolve, then just triangulate. There we go. So you have your you can then you can join this object, two objects, that, and use sort asset, mark as asset, then you need to fill out this in order to search it much better in the asset browser. With the tags, you can use different tags separated by comma and space. You so you can easily search it in the asset browser window. Then you can just drag and drop it to the scene with your low poly chest object. Create object, not chest. Chest is for medieval fantasy. Crates are for sci-fi. Okay. Uh, so sort of like that, and this can go in the somewhere to the side as a bunch of crates. Yeah. Try and use the array modifier. So add modifier, generate array, duplicate this, and set this to 0 and 1. Then duplicate it again, and then set this to Z. And we have this bunch of crates stacked together. Okay, so I think this is going to be it for this video. So remember what I've told you about the issue with the redraw issue with the redo panels. So if you want to avoid that and use the static or duct version of the redo panel right here in this part as shown earlier, you can just go to add-ons. Once you've installed it, go to add-ons and search for the random flow or random starship, and then activate the use confirm menu. Otherwise, you can just use in the system, you can turn this off, global undo, and it will turn everything, every redo panel to an OK button, I guess. So if you turn this off and use an random operator, you can see the OK button here without it being activated in the add-ons. Okay. So either that or this one here. So just use the add-on preferences instead of messing up with this one. By the way, turn this on if you don't in system turn this on. I think this is on by default. Okay, so just turn this on to avoid any confusions with other third-party add-ons in the future. Okay, if you had this off, turn this on. Right. Yeah, so that's it for this video. If you have any questions, use the comment section below or the links in the description. Thank you for watching and have a nice day.